To start, can you please give us like a brief about yourself and how you got into filmmaking, writing, and directing, and how you came to write Love Portion for Juju Stories?
Yeah, well, okay. I am a filmmaker. I was born and raised in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
I've always been very passionate about cinema as far back as I can remember.
Hmm.
Maybe, as early as 11, 12 years old, I kind of knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched a lot of films growing up. I still remember my first cinematic experience, which was Jurassic Park. It was in the
Whoa.
I was in a North London cinema in a place called Muswell Hill in an Odeon.
Hmm.
I remember my cousin took me that day. So yeah, that was like my first. Oh my god, this is.
This
I
is
can't remember how old. Maybe 8 years old, 9 years old. I can't remember when the film was made. Was it 94 or something?
yeah.
So yeah, I've always been passionate about making films. I think it was maybe in secondary school and like high school. I was about 15. We had an English teacher who set up a film studies class and a film activity. I was lucky to be in like an English class with a bunch of students who were really, you know, head deep into film, into like geeky Star Wars and all that. And so we used to talk a lot about film with our English teacher, and he set up a film studies class
Oh
and a film
wow.
activity.
Oh wow.
So that was like my introduction to my deep dive into world cinema.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I studied film production, and yeah, we came together as the Zero 16 back in 2016, and I think this was part of our kind of mission to make a collaborative anthology feature film. And our idea was to make a story around Nigerian urban legends that are based on like supernatural, mystical, juju, and all that type of thing. And we all decided to pick one urban legend that's sort of well known and do like a 25, 30 minutes each.
On
And
it.
yeah, that's how sort of Juju Stories came about. I mean, with Love Potion, I generally just like the idea. I thought it was something that was kind of easy to put together because
Hmm.
the building blocks of the story was kind of already there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
you know,
Absolutely.
it's just me, just a matter of fleshing it out.
Absolutely. Well, that's really amazing. Really amazing. So before Juju Stories, have you worked on other projects?
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of projects. As a writer and director, I've made over 10 short films. I've made a feature film. I've shot feature films. Um, so yeah, I've worked on like a lot of projects. I have a YouTube channel. It's got like all my short films on there.
Awesome.
Well, some of my short films, not all of them. And yeah, so yeah, I worked on a bunch of projects. I shot as a DOP a film called The Lost Okoroshi for Abba Makama. I was a DOP on that. I did a film called The Man Who Cuts Tattoos, which is a feature film, and I've done a bunch of short films. I have a short film that's currently playing festivals called Rehearsal. It had its world premiere at the Berlin International Film Festival last year, and it's done like over 20 film festivals, 20 international film festivals. It's won like three best film awards at these festivals. One was an Oscar qualifying film festival, so
Wow.
I won an Oscar qualifier.
Wow.
So yeah, I've done a bunch of stuff.
That's amazing. So it's safe to say Juju Stories is like like your theatrical debut.
Yeah. It's the first film that's been in the Nigerian cinemas. I mean, it wasn't like a plan to. I don't think we planned it out to ever come to Nigerian cinemas. It sort of kind of just happened that way. I mean, we did a bunch of festivals internationally, and then we came to Afrique. Um, I always just believed that we'll probably just go straight to streaming, but we've done about 12 African territories now cinematically.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and we've done Nigeria as well. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the plan, but it kind of just happened that way. And I guess we'll eventually end up on a streaming platform.
Awesome. So now that you've started dabbling into the cinema space, are we gonna see more stories from you coming to cinemas, or you rather just focus on streaming, or a
Um,
combination of both? So what are we looking at?
no, no, I wouldn't sort of write off Nigerian cinema completely, but I think there needs to be um, a if I was going to come back to Nigerian cinemas, I've learned a lot of Juju stories. I would have to do it, a lot of. I'll do things a bit differently.
Okay.
It's difficult because there's no real everything's kind of just pushed out as the same thing. Whereas you probably need to find a way to market a film like Juju or whatever
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's down to the distributors. Maybe that's down to the producers and us and filmmakers to work out how that could be,
Mhm.
and maybe sit down and try and work that out with distribution companies. But it's never really been my sort of mission to be in on the big screen or anything like that. In like a wide cinema release in Nigeria. But if the opportunity presents itself and I feel it's the right project, then absolutely, why not?
Awesome. Awesome. So the follow up to that is, so I saw the movie and I really enjoyed it, and I couldn't but notice that love portion, it was mostly in pidgin. Why did you make
Yeah.
that creative decision?
Okay. When I started making films in Nigeria, I just it's just the way I did it. It was just this sort of style that I kind of adopted, and I just sort of kept stuck to it. Um, Part of uh, my own vision for a sort of cinematic renaissance, if I can use that word in the country, would be to sort of promote the use of local languages. In our manifesto for the Sura 16, we have that as like one of our rules and guidelines is to encourage the use of local languages. So I just sort of adopted it as a style. Um, I mean, there could have probably been more of a mix. At the same time, you're working very quickly on set that um, this project moved very quickly. So yeah, it's just how it kind of played out. Some of my films have more of a mix, some don't. But yeah,
Say, but do you personally speak pidgin?
no, 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 not very. My pigeon's not so strong. My pigeon. I've when I started making films, is one thing that a lot of people sort of picked up on.
Okay.
Uh, like I started making shorts in Nigeria about 2014.
Okay.
It's one thing people kind of picked up on. Oh, the films are in pigeon, or in pigeon. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I actually like it that way. I do like the sound of pigeon. I find it very poetic when I hear it. I like the back and forth. And to be honest with you, when I work with actors, a lot of the time they're just like, "Oh, wow, this is a pigeon. I've done a pigeon film, like hyper or for ages or whatnot." So,
Mhm.
um, but I think project to project, I'll take it project to project and I'll see how. Um, I see how it goes. I don't think it will forever be that way, but be a project by project basis.
Awesome. So, are you saying that at some point we could see like a movie completely in probably maybe Yoruba or Igbo house or something like that?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm even looking to develop. I'm developing something along those lines at the moment.
Oh
More for
wow.
like TV,
Oh,
like a more hardcore like genre TV,
mm-hmm.
TV series.
Awesome.
Because a lot of the TV series we get in Nigeria tend to be a lot more along the lines of the dramatic.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so looking for something like a drama, but yeah, definitely something, some local language that is not Pidgin. Yeah, definitely. I did a film called The Man Who Cuts Tattoos actually, and there's a lot
Okay.
of Bini in that film,
Oh wow.
especially yeah, the opening's 5 minutes. 5 minutes,
Wow.
10 minutes, I can't remember. That's just all in like, local language.
Oh
Yeah, the
wow.
rest of the yeah, yeah,
Wow. I wanted to ask as well. So for your part, love portion in the story,
yeah.
um, how did you go about picking your cast?
Um, okay, I kind of had a cast in mind. I had them kind of in mind once I'd finished the script. So I know I'd worked with Paul Utomi before on a
Okay.
project, so I just kind of knew that he could do that. Um, he had played a similar role, like in one of my projects before. So I decided that he could fit there. Belinda initially was playing another role in the film, but then eventually she now became the lead in the film.
Oh wow.
So yeah, for one reason or another. But yeah, yeah. So and the other roles, Minna Soji, I've worked with Minna before on the project. And I think the others were probably just cast by the um, the the producer or the film or whatnot. Like just like yeah, so they're brought along that way.
Awesome. Awesome. So you mentioned that you have something in the works. So are we should we expect another story from you this year or maybe next year?
I'm developing a few projects. They are in the works. I don't think I'm going to shoot anything this year. I don't think so because I'm like deep in development and I'm gonna like I'm taking my time writing and sort of fleshing out the stories. It's going to be a feature film and also working on a TV series. Sorry.
Great.
So yeah, it's going to take time. We're also working on Juju Stories, the series,
Oh,
like an
nice.
anthology. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm actually curious about Juju Stories, the series. So is it gonna be like a continuation of this film, or is it gonna be like something new entirely?
No, yeah, I mean it's going to continue along the general concept of traditional urban legends, stories that we know very well here in Nigeria,
Mhm.
whether it's sort of Bush Baby or Madame Koi or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like an anthology series, maybe like 30, 40 minutes an episode,
Mhm.
a kind of Black Mirror anthology where every episode stands alone.
Okay.
And it's going to be like in the supernatural, the fantastical genres, supernatural horror, crime, fantasy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to really be a continuation of the film, but it's going to use that sort of same concept, but it's going to be a TV series because I think it's probably better suited for TV than for film.
Great. Great. Another question I have is, so while I was speaking to Oge, she made me understand that so you are some kind of collective, you together with the other, writers and directors. So are we looking,
Yeah.
should we be expecting more films from three of you, or moving forward is going to be more standalone projects?
Well, yeah, we're working on our own projects now. We when we came together in 2016, it was kind of like a uh, okay, let's look at the industry. What are we seeing? We're seeing a lot of romantic comedies filling our screens, slapstick comedies, wedding films. What's going on here? Like, let's write a manifesto. Let's put this down in writing. What's happening in the scene? Let's get it down. In a sort of more academic side of things, kind of like the Dogma guys did. What's happening in Nigeria? What's happened previously? What are we seeing now? And what could a potential future hold? And we decided, hey, look, we want to make some more artistically minded films or films that are pushing into other territories in terms of genre. Um, films that have more local languages, films that have a different are made with a different kind of vocabulary, not just like the typical Nollywood, maybe theatrical filmmaking vocabulary. Um, so yeah, when we came together, we did that. We put it in writing. We sort of wrote down roles. We were inspired by the Dogma '95 Danish filmmakers from the '90s, and then yeah, so that was kind of like our mission. And one of the things that we put in our white paper to achieve was to make a feature film and make a short film in lieu of a feature film. So we did a short film about 2017, which was called Visions. Did a festival run, and then in our white paper we also said we're going to make a feature film. And now that we've done that, there's we sort of achieved our goal that we don't actually have anything else written down to sort of achieve in that end. But the future will probably have to do like a version two or version three of that white paper to see what the future holds. I say maybe as executive producers on the TV series, and writer and directors as well on a potential TV series. It would have to be through um, a reputable platform, maybe like an Amazon or Netflix or something like that, where we have a substantial budget to work with. We've also working on our film festival. We had the first iteration of the film festival, the 016 Film Festival, in December last year. So we're having our second iteration this December. So that again, that's a kind of purely it's a zone for new voices. More artistically minded voices. And a place for those sorts of platform for those types of work. And just trying to cultivate that audience as much as we can, because we know they're there. They've probably just gone into hibernation. So yeah.
That's amazing. So you guys are like the conveners of Surreal 16.
Say again.
So you mentioned Surreal 16 that you guys did last year, December. Are you guys
Okay,
like
so there's 16 festival.
yes? Are you guys like the conveners or the organizers or you just
Yeah,
participate?
yeah. We came together and organized that along
Wow.
with yeah. Well, we had the vision and the mission for it, and a film festival in Nigeria that's basically um, just there with more artistically minded work, and sort of supporting Nigerians who are making more artistically minded work that may not have a platform, or just films that are in different genres that are sort of uh, not the conventional genres. So yeah, we came together with the White Space Creative Agency. They handle a lot of the sort of heavy lifting, and Oak Advisory, and Fumbi Ogunbanwo,
Awesome.
who's like executive director of the festival. Yeah,
Well done. Well done.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Thank you for telling amazing stories. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
And thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
yeah. No problem.